Today's story is a bit different. Please listen closely. This is the story of someone who is no longer with us in this world. She left us a long time ago, but she left behind her cries for help and the words she wrote with her own hands. Today, she will tell the story of that dark chapter of her life herself, the way it's never been heard before. Listen to the truth taken from her final message. The story. Hi, I'm Amanda. I want you to look past the headlines, past the flashcards, and past the girl you think you know. I want you to see me, the girl I was before the world decided I didn't deserve to breathe anymore. I grew up in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. It was a beautiful place, the kind of town where the air smells like pine and the mornings are wrapped in a thick, quiet fog. I was a happy kid. I loved cheerleading, I loved singing, and I loved my friends. But like every other teenager in Canada and America, I lived a double life. One foot was in the real world, and the other was in the digital one. I didn't know back then that the digital world never forgets, and it never, ever forgives. It started when I was just 12 years old. At that age, you are a hollow vessel waiting to be filled with someone's approval. You want to be told you're pretty. You want to feel like you belong. I started going into chat rooms, looking for a connection. It felt like a game, a way to talk to people from all over the world without ever leaving my bedroom. That's where I met him. He didn't sound like a monster. He sounded like a friend. For a year we talked. He complimented me. He made me feel special during those lonely nights when I couldn't sleep. And then he asked for a favor. He asked me to show him my chest on camera, just for a second. He promised it was just for him. He promised he'd never save it. I was young, I was naive, and I wanted to keep the one person who seemed to care about me happy. I lifted my shirt. The webcam light flickered. 1 second, that's all it took. 1 second to trade my entire future for a stranger's approval. The moment I did it, the atmosphere in that digital room changed. It went cold. He didn't say I was beautiful anymore. Instead, he sent me a screenshot of exactly what I had just shown him. He told me he knew where I lived. He knew my school. He knew my parents. He told me that if I didn't put on a show for him, he would send that photo to everyone. He would ruin me. I froze. I remember the silence of my room that night, the way the shadows on the wall seemed to reach out for me. I was 13 years old, and I was being hunted. I tried to ignore him. I deleted my accounts. I changed my passwords. I thought if I just stayed quiet, the nightmare would go away. But people like Aiden Coban, the man who would eventually be identified as my predator, don't go away. They wait. They linger in the dark corners of the internet like a virus, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. A year passed. I thought I was safe. But then, during the Christmas break, it happened. My phone started blowing up with notifications. My friends were calling me. My heart sank into my stomach. He had done it. He hadn't just sent the photo to a few people. He had created a Facebook page dedicated to my humiliation. He invited everyone from my Christmas list, my classmates, my teachers, the boy I had a crush on. Everyone saw me at my most vulnerable. The next day, walking into school felt like walking onto a stage where everyone was waiting for me to fail. I could hear the whispers before I even entered the building. People I had known since kindergarten were looking at me with disgust. In the hallways of an American or Canadian high school, reputation is everything, and mine have been incinerated in a single night.
I remember walking past a group of boys who used to be my friends. They laughed and called me a slut to my face. I looked for help, but even the girls turned their backs. They didn't want to be associated with the girl from the photo. I went into the bathroom and locked myself in a stall, trying to breathe, but the air felt heavy, like it was filled with lead. I looked at my reflection in the mirror and didn't recognize myself. The spark was gone. My eyes looked old, too old for a 14-year-old girl. I told my mom. She was heartbroken, but she stayed strong for me. She was my rock. We decided the only way to survive was to run. We packed our lives into boxes and moved to a new city. I thought a new school meant a new me. I changed my hair, I changed my clothes, I tried to change my smile. I just wanted to be invisible. For a few weeks it worked. I made a few friends. I started to feel like maybe, just maybe, I could outrun the shadow. But the internet has no borders. Aiden Coban found me again. He didn't just find me, he messaged my new classmates. He sent them the link to the Facebook page. Within 48 hours, the whispers started all over again. I realized then that I wasn't just running from a man. I was running from a ghost that lived in every computer and every smartphone in the world. The depression hit me like a physical blow. It wasn't just sadness, it was an emptiness so deep it felt like it was hollowing out my bones. I started cutting myself. I wanted to feel a pain that I could control, a pain that was real and physical, rather than the suffocating emotional agony that was killing me from the inside out. I looked at the scars on my arms and felt a strange sense of relief. At least these were mine. At least the world hadn't given me these. One night, the weight became too much. I went into the kitchen and found a bottle of bleach. I didn't think about it. I didn't plan it. I just wanted the burning to stop. I drank it. I wanted to burn the memory of that webcam light out of my soul. I survived that night, but the world didn't let me heal. When I got back from the hospital, the bullying reached a level of cruelty I didn't think was humanly possible. Someone posted a picture of a bleach bottle on my wall. They said, "I hope it tastes like justice." They said I should have used a stronger brand. They were telling me to die, and for the first time in my life, I started to agree with them. I was a 15-year-old girl, and I was being told by thousands of people that the world would be a better place without me. And so I sat down in my room. I grabbed a black marker and a stack of white flashcards. I couldn't speak. My voice was broken, but I had to tell the world what was happening. I had to let them see the girl behind the photo before she disappeared forever. I turned on my camera. I didn't show my face. I didn't want them to see how much I had been crying. I just started showing the cards, one by one. My story, my pain, my mistake, my ending. This was the beginning of the end of Amanda Todd, but I'm not done telling you what happened next.
After returning from the hospital, I thought that maybe, just maybe, people would show a little mercy. But I was wrong. In the world of the internet, mercy does not exist. When the news of me drinking bleach spread, the trolls turned it into a celebration. My Facebook inbox was flooded with pictures of bleach bottles and mockery. They kept reminding me that I had failed even at dying. To them, I wasn't a human being. I was just a collection of pixels on a screen. My mother moved me to a different city, changed my school, and even changed my name. But that mobster followed me like a shadow. He didn't just leak my photos. He contacted the boys at my new school and incited them to hurt me. When a 13 or 14-year-old girl realizes that she isn't safe anywhere on this earth, her soul begins to die. I stopped going to school. Day after day, I sat in a dark room, staring out the window. I felt like I was trapped in an invisible prison. Then came the day that remains a dark chapter in the history of the internet, September 2012. By then, I had stopped speaking to everyone. My thoughts would get stuck in my throat, heavy like lead. I thought, if I cannot speak, maybe I can write. I took a black marker and a stack of white flashcards and sat in front of my laptop. When I uploaded that video to YouTube, I never once showed my face. The cards read, "I don't know why I'm doing this. I have no one. I cry every day." The cards were shaking because my hands were trembling. As I showed the card about drinking bleach and how people laughed at me, I felt my tears falling onto the paper. I just wanted the world to know I am a human being too. I have a heart made of flesh and blood that is being shattered every single second. But after uploading the video, instead of sympathy, I became the target of even more hate. People started saying I was doing it for attention. They couldn't understand how desperate and hollow a 15-year-old girl must feel to expose her wounds to the entire world like that. I realized then that this society cannot hear the cries of the living. They only understand the silence of the dead. The last few days of my life were very quiet. My mom probably thought I was slowly getting better, but the truth was, I was just exhausted. I had fought until there was nothing left of me. October 10th, 2012. The sky was very gray that day. I closed my laptop for the final time. I wrote one last small note for my mother in my diary. I knew how much she loved me, but the darkness inside me had grown much stronger than even a mother's love. I am Amanda Todd. I am no longer here, but I hope my silence continues to echo in your ears forever.
Amanda has finished speaking, but this silence is not an ending. It is a deafening roar at the gates of our collective conscience. October 10th, 2012. On the day Amanda Todd closed the diary of her life forever, it wasn't just a girl who died. It was our collective humanity that perished. Can you feel it for a second? Can you imagine how isolated and lost a 15-year-old girl must be to decide that saying goodbye to the entire world is her only choice. When Amanda was writing that final farewell in her diary, did she look out the window at the sky one last time? Did she realize that the moment her mother walked through the front door, her entire world would instantly turn into a graveyard of grief? When Amanda's lifeless body was found, the nation of Canada turned to stone. But the tragedy didn't stop with her heartbeat. When I study the events that followed, my skin crawls at the sheer, limitless cruelty of human nature. Even after Amanda was gone, the predators in the shadows didn't stop. They didn't stop trolling, they didn't stop mocking. They even posted vile comments on the day of her funeral, as if a single death wasn't enough to satisfy their thirst for destruction. But Amanda's mother, Carol Todd, refused to be broken. She has taken every tear she shed and forged it into a powerful force for change. She showed the world that Amanda wasn't just a victim. She was the voice for millions of oppressed children suffering in silence. Today, Amanda's 7-minute flashcard video is an inseparable part of cyber safety education in every school across North America. Now, when a child is bullied online, they have Amanda's name as a shield to fight back. I know you're wondering, what happened to the monster? To Aidan Coben, the predator who stole Amanda's childhood from the dark corners of the web. After a decade-long international investigation, he was finally tracked down. In 2022, a British Columbia court sentenced him to 13 years in prison. But the court uttered a cold, hard truth that day. You can punish the predator, but can you ever bring back the life that was stolen? No, you cannot. Amanda will never sing again. She will never return to her mother's embrace. As I stand here today telling you this story, I have to ask, have we actually learned anything? Do we still pause for even a single second before we belittle or judge someone online? Remember, a word typed on your keyboard can be sharper and more lethal than any physical weapon. Amanda is gone, but her white cards are still staring at us, asking one final question. How much longer will you continue to destroy each other like this? Amanda Todd is no longer with us, but her silence has become a massive explosion. She has left her tragic story in our hands like a burning torch. It is now our responsibility to ensure that no other Amanda is ever lost in that darkness again. Let's make this digital world a little more human. Please, do not be a part of the shadows. For the sake of just one child, choose to be a torch of light.
If you were to watch Amanda's famous YouTube video today, you would notice something haunting. There is no sound, no voice. There is only a girl, hidden from view, holding up one white flashcard after another to her laptop camera. She never showed her face, perhaps because her eyes were too swollen from crying, or perhaps because she felt invisible already. Through those cards, she shared her soul. She wrote, "I have no friends. I am alone. I cry every day." If you look closely at the footage, you can see the cards shaking because her hands were trembling with fear and exhaustion. She wrote about the bleach she had swallowed and the heartless mockery that followed. She wasn't looking for fame. She was simply trying to show the world the jagged scars on her heart. At the very end of that video, she left us with one final, devastating plea. I need someone.